Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea. I have an extremely long overdue update for Throwback 30. I have no idea when I last updated this project. Suffice to say, it's been quite a long time because I've got quite a lot of empties that have been sitting in my office for months and months. So we're just, because I always do this, I've been forgetting to credit the project creators. So this is a Fantastic Ladies group collab. It was created by Jessica as a way to take part in past, present projects in the Fantastic Ladies because there's just no way you can do them all. So every year she picks, and I think we also kind of vote a little bit on which ones we want to see brought into this project. Raven, what are you doing? God. Sorry, the cat was trying to eat plastic bags. I don't know what I was saying, but let's just get into the update because until this point, I was not able to roll anything out, but now I can roll out several things because it's been like 3 or 4 months since I updated last. So this might be a little bit longer. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can, and they'll become shorter after this because I've actually got things rolling out that I'm not going to have to talk about anymore. So number 1 is 12 Days of Christmas. I chose the verse 8 Maids of Milking. I brought in my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk for 30 uses. I've got 11 on it so far. And you can see I have the tiniest bit of progress. Like, I'm just tracking it just for my own knowledge of how much 30 uses is. I've mainly used it as a base so far, but I have a couple times, including today, I use it as a base for my water, like my lower waterline liner. So I still count that as a use. I'm still using it. So I have 19 more to go with this one. Next is Four Seasons Project Pan. I picked the season of spring. I picked my Too Faced Love Flush watercolor blush in the shade Love Yourself because it's a heart, and then there's an imprint of bunnies and flowers on the inside, so very spring-like. It's a really light blush. I am wearing it today, but it's pretty. It's a very subtle. That's okay. Sometimes you want subtle. Again, I have a 30 use goal on it. I've only used it 6 times so far. Now for my first empty, we have 50 Shades of Green. I finished this way back in November, so I haven't updated since at least October. So there you go. This is my Pharmacy Green Clean Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm. I got 53 uses out of this. It is empty. I do like this, but it's expensive. I'm not really interested in actually purchasing this anymore when I can find cheaper alternatives. And so while it's good and I like it, it's at least not something that I would pay full price for, because I think this is like $36 and it doesn't even last for 2 months. I don't think so. Then my next empty is for 50 Shades of Pink, and I had this Kopari Coconut Rose Toner. I found this at TJ Maxx, and I want to say Valerie, but I may just be making things up. I thought she said she liked this, or she likes Kopari or something. So I saw this, I figured I would pick it up. It's not for me. I used it, and it's not my favorite. I got 65 uses out of this bottle, and it is empty, and I will just continue to buy my Andalou Naturals Illuminating Toner because it smells like oranges, and I like that a lot. Just tossing my garbage on the floor. Number 5 is 50 Shades of Purple. And for that, I have my Lisa Frank and Glamour Dolls Bitten and Bronzed Matte Bronzer. I had this in 50 Shades of Purple. I did hit my goal on it. My goal was 50 uses in that project, or pan. I hit 50 uses. I did not hit pan. And then I'm bringing it in for another 30 uses. I am wearing it today. It's not my favorite bronzer. It's not bad. It's just not my favorite. It doesn't look any different because I've got 9 more uses on it since the beginning of this project. Who knows how far away pan is. I may never pan this bronzer, but I'm going to try dog on it. You're not coming in here, Raven. Next, for 7 Deadly Pans, I chose the Sin of Lust because I had this Danessa Myricks Twin Flames Multichrome pigment in the shade Lust, so I thought that was perfect. It's like an iridescent white base. It shifts red and kind of like a yellowy green. It's very beautiful. I have a 30 use goal on it, and I've used it 5 times. I've got 6 months to use it 25 more times. Theoretically, that should be fairly easy to do. In reality, who knows? Next, for Alice in Wonder Pan, I picked the prompt Jabberwocky, a product from a brand you no longer buy from, a person you no longer support, in parentheses, because they are evil, LMAO. So I do not want to purchase from ABH anymore, but I have this ABH Jackie Ina palette, which is one of my favorite palettes. It's so beautiful. So this is what it looks like. My goal is hit pans. I'm working on 1 pan at a time, but at the rate I'm going, I'm only going to hit the 1 pan in this palette. That's fine. I'm working on Sponsored. I've got 6 uses on it. I mean, if I used it a little bit more, as you can see, I have pan and trust issues, and they're not deep. And this is a pretty creamy shade. So, if I wore it more than once a month, I might actually hit pan on it. But I don't, so I haven't. So that is obviously staying in, and if and when I ever hit pan and Sponsored, I may roll in another shadow from that palette to work on. Who knows? Then number 8 is Beauty A to Z. I picked the letter W, and I brought in another failed goal from my 50 Shades of Purple. This is the Wet n Wild Chrome Nail Color in Hog Quartz School. So I want to finish it. I didn't mark it, but I've got 2 more uses on it, so I'm like right here. There's not a lot left. It's getting kind of hard. Or 2 more uses. I have 2 uses total in this project, is what I should have said. It's getting a little hard to use, so this is a pretty tiny bottle. There's not a lot of product in here. It's 8.5 mils. Hold on, I want to see something. Wow. Well, actually, there is more product than I thought. It says it's 8.5 mils, so I thought it was like more of a mini, but this julep polish is a mini, and this only has 3 mils in it, so I don't know. Either way, I'm close to finishing it. I just haven't used it much. Then for Birthstone Beauty, I chose Opal because Opal is my birthstone, and I will not hear any of that pink tourmaline crap. It's an Opal for October. So I have my BH Cosmetics Opal palette. I want to use each shade 10 times. I'm not doing the greatest, but I have used every shade at least once. Today I have Emotional in my transition, and I have Opal in my inner corner. So I always do this. I cannot do things upside down. I've used Opal 4 times. I've used Positive 5 times. I've used Big Heart once. I've used Personable twice. I've used Emotional 4. I've used Faithful 4, and I've used Daydreamer 3. So I've only gotten halfway to one of the shades. There's several others that have 4, but hopefully I can hit my goal on that before the end of the project. Then for Budget Beauty, I picked my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer because I didn't really have that much left. I didn't mark it. Maybe I should start doing it. Who does it where they draw the circle on the back? I think I've seen Kim and Ruth do that, right? Because I already had pan in it when I brought it in, and the way I used it when it was in Throwback 30 before was I really wore it down evenly, so it's not like I just drilled a hole down into the middle. Like there's a pretty thin layer left. So I marked the back so we can see the pan grow. But this is after only 5 uses because I was focusing on other things. But I think I will have this done. It's a pretty nice primer. It's just, I don't know that I would repurchase it. It's more of the, well, it's not quite the level of the Smashbox photo finish, but it's more on that texture, which is not my favorite. So I don't know that I would repurchase this, but gonna use up what I've got. Then for Child of the 80s, I picked the prompt Wax On, Wax Off from Karate Kid, a product that contains wax. I picked a candle. I have this Opal House sugared cinnamon candle that I finished quite a long time ago, like fall time. This is a fall scent, so probably September, October maybe. It is delightful. I love this scent so much. And this candle is done. I'm not going to throw this one. I will set it gently. Then for Drop 10 Before Summer, I picked one of my e.l.f. Putty blushes. This is in the shade Fiji. I have this on today, but it can get a little overwhelming, so I did put it on underneath my foundation to help. In case you overdo it, if you have a cream or liquid blush that you're afraid is a little too dark for you or you might overdo it, put it on before your foundation and it'll all work out. So I have a 30 use goal on this and I've used it 17 times and it barely looks touched because it is a cream blush and you don't need a lot. Next is Food for Thought, and I have my Beauty Bakery Snackaroons highlighter in Sugarcoat Everything. This highlighter is beautiful. Again, I'm wearing it today. I actually really had to buff it out with a powder because it packs a punch. It's really pretty. So again, I have a 30 use goal on it and I've used it 7 times. And then next for Gotta Panamal, Misty, a gimme product, something you can logically finish. I have this small, I guess, deluxe size sample of the NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer. It's got 8 grams in it. I've used it 7 times. I'm not a super huge fan of this. Like, this is really, well, it's probably not, whoops. Like, you see the dot of jelly? It's just not, I don't find it hydrating in the least, honestly. So, it's not my favorite. I'm going to use it, but not going to purchase a full size of that. Next, for Harry Potter and the Pan of Fire Bludger, something black. And where did I put it? I have my ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in Swerve. My goal is to finish this. It's a black eyeliner. I use it almost every single day in my waterline to tightline. I've got 58 uses on it, and I'm not gonna, I already opened it and rolled it up once to mark it, so I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not taking my life into my hands, so to speak, with that product and risking breakage or having it fall out or any of the million things that can go wrong with that. But I mean, I made pretty decent progress for 58 uses. So I think, 58 uses is about 2 months worth of use. So I definitely think that I will have this finished by the end. I mean, it'll take me probably until the end of the project, but I think I can actually finish that, which would be really nice. And it's really disappointing because that is one of the ones, this particular pencil, like, I'm not saying every single ColourPop liner in the shade Swerve is like this, but this particular one is really good. I don't know why they can't make all of them like that. It boggles the mind, really. But that is why I don't purchase from that. I really don't purchase from ColourPop at all anymore, but that's why I will definitely not purchase any more of their liners because they're just too inconsistent. Then for I Heart the 90s, Smells Like Teen Spirit, a scented product. I have my mini perfume from Nest in the scent Black Tulip. I have not marked it, but you can see that's where I'm at, and that's after, there, is that a little better to see? I don't know. That's after 12 uses. I did finish one of these, like not this scent, but I finished one of these bottles last year in this project. No. Was it this project? This project, 50 Shades of Purple, something. I don't remember. But I I really hope I can get this one finished. It smells really good. I like to wear my perfume in my elbow, like rollerball perfumes. I just think it lasts longer than if it's on my wrists. That's why I'm smelling my elbow like a weirdo. It's just spicy. It smells really good. I really like it. I like all the Nest perfumes. Then for Let's Get Loose, I have a Tammy Tenuka pigment. This is like the smallest size they offered, so there's not a lot in here. I don't know. It's the shade DP_55_VN, and I don't remember what that what that correlates to in English. Obviously there's Russian on here, but there's no English translation, so I don't know. I think it's got something to do with pumpkins, maybe. But this is what it's looking like. I've used it 3 times. It's really pretty, but again, it's a flakier, loose eyeshadow. So it's got like the very fine base, but then it's got those bigger flakes of pigment or mica or whatever. And it's just, there's so much fallout when I use that kind of thing. I'm not into the amount of cleanup and stuff that needs to happen with things like that. So I'm not buying, I'm not buying loose eyeshadows ever anymore because I don't really use them. But I'm really trying to stay away from things that are too flaky or chunky because I'm just finding I don't really like that. Next, for lip service, this is almost an empty, but not quite. I picked my Ulta Beauty Juice Infused Lip Oil in Jojoba and Peach. My goal is to finish. So whenever I updated last, I was up here. I'm all the way down here. I'm so close. I'm going to have to take the stopper out soon because I'm having a really hard time getting product onto the dough foot. But if I update next month, this might be done. If I somehow, for some reason or another, have to skip next month's update again, hopefully whenever I update next, it will be finished. Then for Mean Girl quotes, that is so fetch. Something that is so fetch. And that is my Clarity Cosmetics Evil Mermaid palette. This is the other palette that I'm wearing today. And I wanted to use each of these shades 5 times. So, oops. I've got Beaches Be Crazy, 2 uses. Get Off My Tail, 2 uses. Aquaholic, 2. Murky Waters, 2. Shell Shocked, 1. Seize the Day, 1. Conspiracy, 4. I Don't Fin So, 2. And Washed Ashore, 3. And then Washed Ashore and Conspiracy are the 2 from this palette I'm wearing today. Washed Ashore is in my crease and on my lower lash line, and then Conspiracy is like the darker purple that's on my outer corner. This palette is beautiful and gorgeous, and I'm so glad and thankful that Lisa sent this to me because I love it. Then for Nightmare on Panning Street, I picked the Omen 666. Use 6 pans in a palette 6 times. I picked my Lorac Shine Bright Face palette because this is older and I have not gotten enough use on it yet. So I don't have any goals hit on any of these shades yet, but I'm close. I've got Aura and Technicolor. I've got 3 uses each. Tea Rose and Blossom. I've got 2 uses each. And then the 2 highlighters, Bold Spirit and Opalescent, I have 5 uses each. And it's just a really pretty palette. It still performs well, even though it's like 4 years old. So glad I'm getting some more use on it. Then for Pan as Old as Time, I have my Lorac Mega Pro 4 because I have a ton of pan in it. And I just want to get as much use out of this as I can. So I don't have progress pictures from my last update. But I do have, I believe since the last time I updated, I've got 2 new pans. So I hit pan in Flamingo. I think I already updated on Butterscotch. So that's why I didn't. So I'll just go through all the pans that I've hit in this project because I don't remember. I've hit pan in Butterscotch. I hit pan in Flamingo and it's super tiny, but I hit pan in Sugar Cookie. And then Dark Chocolate and Mahogany are what I've been using as a combo in my brows. Obviously, I've been using more of the Dark Chocolate than the Mahogany. So once this one is gone, I'm probably going to combine Mahogany and Cedar. And then I've started using Cotton as kind of like to set my eye primer on my transition. And I have used several of the other shades, but especially if they already have pan in them, I'm not counting uses, so I don't know what... I'm not really going to have a goal for what I want to hit pan in next. I'm just going to use this whenever I feel like, and we'll see what it looks like by the end of the year, because I've already hit 3 more pans. So how many pans do I have in this now? I have 16, actually. I have 16 out of 32, so I have exactly half of the shadows in here have pan. I probably, if anything, I will probably hit pan in Copper Pearl next, just because when I use it on my lower lash line, so I use a bit of a more dense brush, a smaller brush. But it needs to be cleaned. I need to do one of Jaylon's magic tricks with a wipe, but it's looking really well loved, and that's all I can ask for. Next, for Pan of Dinosaurs, I picked the Pterosaurus, something light or airy. I picked my e.l.f. Soft Luminance Loose Powder. I want to finish this. It was already like halfway gone, so it's not the best marking, but see, I'm down to here after 21 uses. I don't know if I brought it in. I don't know if this mark was where it was or when I brought it into the project, or I don't know. All I know is that's where it is at right now. So, but I like this powder. It's really nice. It is extremely finely milled, so that's nice. I don't know if they sell this one anymore, just because, like, all it says, I think the shade is Soft Luminance. I'm not exactly sure, like, if this is what exact powder it is, because they don't have it on the packaging, but it's nice either way. Next, for Skin is In, I have my Revolution Clay Mask in to finish. I've only used it 4 times, but there it is. Then for That's Expensive, I have my Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Boom Boom Cream. This is like not the extremely large value size. This is the regular 8-ounce size. And I have 22 uses on it. And I would say I'm a little less than halfway done with this. It smells so good. I really don't like... I just have to sniff it. I don't use it a ton because I'm working on quite a few different scents in the shower, and I don't want to put this on and then have it not really go with the scent. So there's a few things in my shower that on days that I use it, I will pair it with this, but otherwise I don't want it to like smell funny because I layer it over a scent that it doesn't really go with. And I don't use this as a hand cream or anything. This is specifically mainly for my legs is what I use it for. So that needs to go up to 2. Then for That So 2000s Frosted Tips, something frosty or icy, I have this Zoya polish in Saldana. I have a 5-use goal on it, and I've only used it once. And then the Golden Girls Project Pan Cheesecake, something in sweet packaging or smells sweet. And if you saw my Set It Free in 23 video, you know I'm getting rid of this. This is My Body Bakery Blackberry Smoothie Room and Linen Spray. It's like cloyingly sweet. I don't like it. I shouldn't say I don't like it. It smells nice enough, but it's way too sweet. And you are not supposed to you're supposed to avoid spraying it on the skin. It's not for use on the body. So I don't use room sprays. I don't know why I bought this. So I'm decluttering this. I mean, I'm not throwing it away. I'm going to see if I can give it to somebody else, or I'll throw it in my next, Project Beauty Share box. But it is out of my collection, out of this project. I'm not pulling in something else to replace it. I'm considering the prompt is done but not finished, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not pulling anything else in for it, but I didn't meet my goal. I'm just decluttering this item. Then for This Is Fantasy Cyclops, a one-eyed giant, a single shadow, I have my Enchanted Luster Cosmetics Single in Dream Prism. This is the last thing that I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is all over my lid. I want to hit pan. I've only got 3 uses on it, but this is extremely soft and extremely flaky. So even after only 3 uses, hopefully you can see there is a bit of a dip going on in there already. It's not going to be hard to hit pan in this, so that's why I'm not too concerned about hitting that goal. Then for tiny pans, I had this little, like, I guess eyeshadow / highlighter from the Balm that I got in an Ipsy a long time ago in the shade Kuwakara Bisha. I already had pan in it. My goal is to finish it, and I use it every single day as my brow bone highlight, and this is what it's looking like. I mean, there's not a lot left in here. Did I say I used it 91 times in this project? So that's not too bad. It's really thin all in here, and there's not that much even left on the sides. So I don't want to say like, oh, this will definitely be done by next month, but this will definitely be done in 2 months at the very latest. Turn and burn I'll go through at the end, and then the very last one is Zodiac Project Pan. I picked Taurus pastel shades of pink, pale blue, and green. I had in this Juvia's Place eyeline, I defined pen liner. I don't know if it, I mean, it's just in black. I don't know that it actually has like a shade name, but I got 72 uses out of this, and I'm calling it quits. I used it for the last time yesterday. It's just, by the time I was getting to my actual wing, it was drying out. I also am not a huge fan of how long the felt tip is. It just made it too difficult. It just made it too easy to like end up with a way bigger line than I wanted. So this is actually an empty. And then lastly, turn and burn. So again, if you saw my Set It Free in 23, you will know I'm getting rid of this. I don't like it. I don't want to continue wearing it. It smells kind of funky. The component leaks like oil or something. And I really wanted to finish it. I had 12 uses on it in this project. I can't. So it's going in the garbage. And then I kind of decided what I was going to do from now on with turn and burn is I'm not going to necessarily like pick, this is what's left of my samples and stuff, because a lot of them got put into Beauty A to Z. I'm not necessarily going to pick new ones every update. I will just use this prompt to show you when I do use samples, because I don't have enough to do turn and burn. And so that way I'm still using my samples and they're not just kind of like sitting there getting forgotten about, but I don't feel like I have to use one specific thing every month if I really don't want to or like need to use that type of product. But I did use, since the last update, whenever that was, I have 3 more samples out of there that I finished up. The first is this Peach and Lily Pore Proof Perfecting Clay Mask with Kaolin Clay and Wild Cherry. It's pink, so it stains the inside of the jar pink. I really liked this. I liked this so much that I bought a full size. So this was a really nice clay mask, not too drying. It made my skin feel really soft afterwards, and it smelled really nice. So I used that up. I used up this Olaplex No. 3 Hair Perfector. You're supposed to wet your hair, towel dry it, put this in, then take a shower after like 10 minutes. I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. So I just use this as a leave-in mask, not a leave-in mask. I just use this as a hair mask in the shower. It's probably doesn't work as well because I'm not using it the way it's intended, but from what I remember, it was fine. It's still not as good, in my opinion, as my Macadamia Professionals hair mask that I really like. So there's that. And then these did like nothing. I have this 6-pack of the Mighty Patch from Hero. I use them like when I had like one breakout. Maybe it was even like one of these or something. It did nothing. I used like all 6 on one spot and it did nothing. I was not happy with that. So that's not something I would purchase, but I usually only get blemishes during that time of the month. So it's not like I'm always having things wrong with my skin. That was still a pretty long video. Sorry guys, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you don't update projects for 3 or 4 months at a time. Hi, what do you want?
Is it lunchtime yet?
Lunchtime? We already had lunch. You had those SpaghettiOs, remember?
Okay, but is it lunchtime?
You can have a snack. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're staying safe and sane and healthy, having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you in the next one.